means for weighted data. So here's our formula for weighted data, and this is a sample mean is when we use X bar. This um, mu here is for a population mean, but we're focusing on a sample, okay? And the way sample mean is calculated is that you take the weight of something and you multiply it by the first score, so the first weighting of the first score, and multiply those two, plus the second weighting times the second score, all the way to the very last one. N means the number of scores there are. In our case, we'll talk about that after. And then all of that is divided by all the weights added together. Okay, so they represent it with this value. This value means the sum of all the way to the I number. So the I number is the last value. So all of the weights times all of the scores divided by the sum of all the weights. And the sum of is our adding. That's what it's telling us. It's telling us to add everything together. Okay, so we've kind of made up a question. Olympic figure skating scoring. And we put some categories, which I have no idea if this is what's actually measured, and we gave them some arbitrary weights, and then we randomized all the numbers for these countries, Canada, US, Japan. And we're going to say all of these scores were out of 10. Okay, so Japan scored a 10 on an outfit. They must look great. We're going to calculate their weighted scores to see what they would get. Okay, so it's really important that, and maybe I'll color code some of this stuff, that we use this idea, this formula here. So we'll start with Canada. We'll use Canada in red, okay? So Canada's score. We know that it's a weighted mean, right? So, like it said before, we're looking for the sum, all the way to I, of the weights times the scores divided by the sum of all of the weights. So, this is important for us. Our first one, and maybe we'll do the weights in purple in the country. I don't have purple. Shoot, I don't have enough colors for this. Okay, we'll do all the weights in black, okay? So the very first weight is 4. So we would call that our W1, okay? Our W2 will be our grace, W3 was speed, W4 is outfit, and W5 is 6, okay? Or sorry, is difficulty, and the scoring is 6. So when we go to do the sum of all these, so X bar of the weights, our first weight is 4. So we have a weight of 4 multiplied by, okay, and we're going to take Canada's first score. First score is the number 5. Now we could have turned this into a percentage, and it would tell us the weighted percentage score, but we can just go for an overall value too, right? So their first score was a 5, so 5 times 4. Then we add. The next weight is the number 3, and Canada's next score is the number 7 here. So multiply that by 7. The next weight is the number 2. Okay. Canada's next score is the number 6. I'm going to move this over so the next score is outfit, which is again a 2. Canada's next score was again a 6, so no difference there. And then finally, the last weight is a value of 6, and Canada's score there is 8. Okay, and all of that is going to be divided by the sum of all the scores. Okay, so we're going to take each of the scores. We have 4, right, plus, they're all the ones in black, 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 6. So that's what all the weights are going to add up to. Okay, so we kind of go through this process. And I'll quickly try to do the multiplication here. So we have 20 plus 21 plus 12 and 12 and 48, all divided by 7 and 4 is 11 and 6 is 17. So all that divided by 17. So let's put these numbers together. This is 24, 44, 80, 92, 93. I think it is 113, but maybe get a calculator on the side and just double check that for us. Okay. So I think we got 113 over our 17. You just double check those for me, and I'm going to do the
113.
Beautiful. So happy I remember how to add. Okay, so 113 divided by 17. So this is an average weighted score that Canada got. Canada got a 6.647. Okay, as a score, 6.647. That's their overall performance with the weightings. Okay, so that was only Canada. So we're going to compare all 3 countries. So let's quickly jump. Next one is the USA. Now, luckily, the weights are all going to be the exact same. So when I go to set up the USA score, their weighted mean, I can use all of the same weights, okay? So I know it's going to be 4 times some number plus, and I'm going to write those numbers in after just so we're not scrolling up and down all the time, right? 3 times some number. Shoot, this might be harder than I think to do. Let's see if I can do it. 3 times a number plus 2 times a number plus 2 times a number plus 6 times a number. Does this make sense what I've just done there?
Yep.
Okay. And then we know that it's all going to be above. What's the sum of all of our weights? 17. We already know that, so we don't need to do that again, right? But it's essentially adding all of these values up. So let's get US score. US went, let's see if we can memorize this. 898955. Sure that. 898. That doesn't make sense. 898. Oh no, not 9. 89855. There we go. 89855. Okay, does that make sense how I built this?
Yep.
Okay, great. Let's quickly jump into the next weighting here. So this is 48 plus 27 plus 16 plus 10 plus 30. All of it divided. So maybe get a calculator there. I'm going to try. That's going to be 40. And 40 is 88. 90, 104, 131.
Yeah.
All right, 131. Clearly, they did much better than Canada's score. And what's 131 divide 17? 7.70. And we'll round the third value up. Okay, 7.706. So their average score was 7.706. Okay, so US has already done better. And then we do the exact same thing. Let's do Japan. I don't know why I capitalized it, but we'll do theirs. They have a weighted mean. Same idea, same values. 4. So we have 4 times some number plus 3 times some number plus 2 times some number plus 2 times some number plus 6. Ooh, I memorized it. All over 17. Let's see what Japan's score was. 6, 9, 9, 10, 5. 6, 9, 9, 10, and 5. Okay, it's the moment of truth. Let's see what they get here as a score. They got 24 plus 27 plus 18 plus 20 plus 30. Going to give us 50. 119?
Yeah.
Oh. 119 over 17. And that's much closer to Canada's score, was it? 7. Right on the dot?
Yeah.
No way, is it? 7 on the dot. What was Canada's? 113. I wonder if we calculated US wrong. Regardless, we might have put the numbers in wrong. But that's how we calculate a weighted mean, right? So that's how, if this was the Olympics, the weighted score, that's how it would be scored.